Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Game Informer Breakdown. Today we're going to be going over issue 327 that starts with a bit of a heartbreaker. We'll show you the cover because that seems to be a thing that I do in these. It's an interesting QR code that you can scan if you download the app on your phone, which shows you some additional cover art. It's what in the comic book world would be called a variant cover. Some sad news about this issue. The editor-in-chief, Andy McNamara, will be resigning from Game Informer. He is passing the reins down to Andy Raniere. I mean, I don't know much about these people aside from, you know, the pieces that they put in the Game Informer each month, but I don't think it's going to change much. And from what he said, he doesn't think it's going to change much either. He's leaving on good terms from what I can tell. And, you know, congratulations to him. Maybe he's retiring. I don't know. He looks pretty young. Kind of old at the same time. Looks like a nerd, you know? We're all nerds. But he looks like a happy nerd. He looks like he's about to retire and hit the beaches and maybe have, like, you know, a Twitch account. I was just going to kick back, relax, and not have to stress about dates. The first piece in this Game Informer is actually by the whole staff of Game Informer. It literally says by Game Informer staff, and it's a very short piece. It's the introduction to PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5 is the biggest console to date. It's bigger than the Xbox One, which is a fucking cable box, and it's going to be bigger than the Xbox Series X. The current dimensions of the Xbox X is 151mm by 151mm by 301mm. It's going to be a quarter bigger than that. You can place the PlayStation 5 on its side, or you could stand it upright, horizontal or vertical, and you need a stand for either or. That's pretty much it. They were sad that E3 is not happening in June because of the whole COVID situation, which, I mean, who's not upset about that? I personally have never been to an E3, and I can't wait till I can go to one, but unfortunately no one's going to any of them, or to anything, so it doesn't really matter. And by anything, I mean Comic-Cons, E3s, gaming, whatever freaking dorks of whatever genre that you're into throw once a year or once every 6 months. No one's going to any of them because they're not happening. This issue had a similar situation to the last issue when they did the 23 games to Xbox Series X. They didn't title it anything, but they show games in the same format, and a majority of them are strictly for PS5. I'm not going to be as nitpicky with this as I was last time with sticking to just PS5 ones with some honorable mentions. I'm just going to talk about a handful of them. I didn't have a lot of time to go over how I wanted to go through this Game Informer, but I did read through all of it in a day, so we're just gonna go by the seat of our pants if that's cool. So Stray, this is an interesting game. I'm not gonna say that I'm excited for it because, to be honest, I'm not. I think it's just an interesting game. So you play in a futuristic world that is run by robots, and you play as a cat. I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do as a stray cat, but there you go. It's interesting. I'm curious as hell to know what you're gonna be doing as a stray cat. I think it's kind of a weak game to be promoting for the PS5. Another game is Pragmata. I remember seeing the video on Pragmata of him like coming through like a teleporter situation, showing the city, and he was just like an astronaut, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I only caught a couple pieces of it, but after I read this, I was like, okay, that seems pretty cool. So Pragmata is pretty much some Armageddon shit, if you've ever seen the movie, with Bruce Willis and, not Matt Damon. Who's the guy that always works with Matt Damon? Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck and Bruce Willis are in it. They're stopping an asteroid from hitting the Earth. Same thing with Pragmata. I don't know the full scope of it, but you're pretty much trying to stop a meteor from hitting Times Square. We also have another game called Astro's Playroom. It's pretty much like the Playroom from PS4, but for the PS5. And I think it has something to do with the PlayStation VR, I think. Another game is Horizon Forbidden West. I did not beat the first Horizon, although I did get a quarter of the way through. It's not that it's a bad game, I just fell off of it. But I'm looking to replay it again soon, and hopefully I can actually read that, because I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't read it. As soon as I read the first, like, 2 sentences, which says it pretty much goes off of the first one, I was like, stop right there, don't go through with this because you haven't beat the first one. But that's another game that looks really great on the PS4, so I imagine the new one's going to look fantastic on the PS5. Spider-Man Miles Morales. Spider-Man was a kick-ass game. Insomniac did a killer job on it, and I cannot wait until Spider-Man Miles Morales comes. Obviously, it's going to be playing off of that one in some way, shape, or form because Miles is in the newest Spider-Man that Insomniac made. So I'm curious how they're going to transition into this new game. It seems really awesome, and they made a really good point. You know, Miles Morales isn't even a decade old yet in the comic series or on the digital life. I don't know, movies and video games. And he's already got his own game. So that's awesome. I'm very much looking forward to playing that. Another game that's worth plucking out of here is... Where is it? I was just looking at it a second ago. Ooh, I found it. It's Resident Evil Village. Resident Evil Village. This plays off of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. And it pretty much picks up where that one left off. Once I read that that was the case, I immediately cut it off and I stopped reading. But Resident Evil Biohazard looked cool enough as it was. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I think I did in the first episode of Game Informer Breakdown when I was with Norma. I was getting into Resident Evil at the time, and I still am. But hopefully I'll find the time before Village gets released and I'll beat Biohazard so that way I can get ready for this game. Another really cool game that's coming out is Godfall. Godfall is a really awesome looking game. You're pretty much fighting through to reach the boss, the god boss Macros. You're getting all this awesome godlike gear and you're just a badass. You can team up with 3 people and it's pretty much an RPG. I'm really looking forward to it, and if I'm not having like a completely stupid ass moment, I'm pretty sure the story behind that game is really good, but we'll get to that later. Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart. I fucking love the Ratchet and Clank series. One of the interesting things about this is you're constantly going to be jumping between realms and places. Normally that's a really tough thing to pull off. You'd have loading screens, or you'd have to have a cinematic cutscene or something that's going to put you there without it being like a black screen, right? But with the power of the PS5, they're not going to have that problem at all. Comes out, shit, I don't know, it didn't say here. But I hope really soon, because I'm eager to play that. Even if it was a bad game, I'd be like, yeah, it's still pretty good. And I hope you guys are looking forward to it too. If not, whatever. For those of you that love the GTA 5 series, for those of you that love the GTA 5 game, well, this will get your little pee-pee hard because it's transferring over to the PS5 and it's going to be pretty much the same thing it is, but better graphics. They're also doing that with Fortnite. For all of you people who love those games, awesome for you. I can care less about either one though, personally. Just an opinion, don't throw shade at me. Go fuck yourself if you're going to be a dick about it. But I don't really care about either one. To be honest, I think GTA 5 is a little overrated. But that's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Behind a Video Game by Kimberly Wallace. Now this, let me just skim this real quick to make sure I'm right. Oh God, Rising is... God damn it, I was wrong. Everything I said about God... Everything I said about Godfall was wrong. This whole thing is written about Hayden Duvall. I thought that he made Godfall, and I'm wrong. He's making Old Gods Rising. I got a little mixed up there. Things are kind of all over the place. Hayden Duvall, who has a rare form of blood disease. I think it's cancer. Well, it is cancer. He's like in a wheelchair and stuff. So he's a person who's always worked under somebody and has helped produce games for other people. And he's just really excited to get his own thing going. With this new game, Old Gods Rising, it's a first-person adventure that he's been working on entirely by himself. He's doing the art, the programming, the everything. That's some real grandma boy shit right there. It's a really good article. To be honest, I just gave you the best parts of it, so there's nothing more to really go off of that. It sucks that I'm rushing through it and I'm kind of all over the place, but if I don't, I won't get it done. I have to work the next 4 days, and I don't know when the fuck the next issue of Game Informer is coming out, and I don't want to keep falling behind. But Behind in a Video Game, really great article by Kimberly Wallace, and I hope Hayden Duvall's game is excellent. I can't wait till it comes out. I'll definitely be checking it out. I don't know if it's going to be coming to a specific platform, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be multi-platform. You already know what it is. It's the G, the B, and the U for you ugly bitch. No, I'm just kidding. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Pokemon Snap. Who doesn't remember Pokemon Snap from Nintendo 64? It's iconic. I think every 90s kid knows that game. Let me just read it. Pokemon Snap is coming to the Switch 2 decades after the series debuted on the N64. No release date or time frame has been announced as of the time of this writing, but Bandai Namco is developing the title and is filled with cute and colorful critters with new expressions and behaviors to put to your photo decks. I know a handful of people that are excited for it as well. Yeah, we're grown-ass men and we're excited for Pokemon Snap. Shut up. The bad. AT&T, owner of... I didn't know this. I keep thinking the camera's over there. I didn't know this, but AT&T owns Warner Brothers. Let me just read it. It'll probably surprise you too. AT&T, owner of Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment, is reportedly looking to sell the gaming division, including its subsidiary studios, including Rocksteady Studios, Batman, NetherRealm Studios, Mortal Kombat, TT Games, Lego, and others. At the time of this writing, heavy hitters Take-Two, Electronic Arts, and Activision were all interested. Who wouldn't be? Well, they didn't say that, but I'm just saying. We'll have to wait and see how it shakes out for the WBIE, which is Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment, its studios and franchises, and hopefully a sale doesn't negatively shake up the studios and series Warner Bros. Has built through the years. I did not know A&T owned anything gaming. I thought AT&T was just a cable company. The ugly. Former Riot Games. This really is ugly. Alright, sorry. Getting ahead of myself. Former Riot Games, Valorant, and League of Legends, which we've heard about in the previous Game Informer breakdowns. Not so much about League of Legends, but Valorant. That's the PC game. Former Riot Games Global Head of Consumer Products, Ron Johnson, resigned from the company after Vice Games found a Facebook post from Johnson critical of George Floyd, who was killed by a Minneapolis police officer in May. The developer promptly put Johnson on leave and started an internal investigation. Johnson resigned the next day. The culture at Riot Game itself has already come under criticism for being hostile to women, and the company settled a class action gender discrimination lawsuit in 2019. Norma just walked in the door from work, so this is probably going to get cut short. But that is some really ugly
he likes
shit.
To interrupt my stuff.
That's some really ugly stuff. One for the books or for the show. Cyberpunk 2077. It's so hypocritical to why I even make these, but I didn't read the whole thing because, to be honest, I'm not that excited about Cyberpunk 2077. Fucking throw your shade and be all salty. I don't care. It really just doesn't interest me. I don't care anything about the future, like futuristic stuff, and I don't like cyberpunk shit in general, like steampunk or any punk. I'm not saying I'm not going to play the game, I will, but I'm not excited to be reading that many pages on it. I know everyone else is, and I know that's like the hottest thing about this article or about this issue, but it's just not for me. But for those of you who haven't already heard about it, it's a game that everyone's looking forward to playing, and it's coming to multiple platforms, and it's releasing really soon on November 19th. Oh, and I think Keanu Reeves is going to be in it. So if you're excited for that, or if you feel like looking up some trailers or gameplay, go ahead, go hard, check it out. CD Projekt Red is going to be working on it, but Cyberpunk 2077, man, check it out.
Leia, ew, don't lick your booty stuff.
This is a game that probably no one's excited for except for a small few of us. And considering I just shit all over Cyberpunk 2077, whoever's remaining is probably like, really? You get excited for that, but not Cyberpunk? Come on, dude. To be honest, I just didn't read the whole thing. So I don't mean to sound as cruel as I did when I was talking about Cyberpunk. I didn't read the whole thing. Maybe I'll make up for it later. The Birdman Flies Again. How Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is coming back in a big way, by Andrew Raniere, our soon-to-be editor-in-chief. So they pretty much just explain what they're going to be doing with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, which we already knew, taking the original and bringing it to today. An interesting thing that they did note, which I didn't expect, all the characters that you could play as in the original, they're going to be putting back in at the age that they are today. So instead of being in their 20s, they're going to be in their 40s and 50s now, which is really interesting. Tony Hawk looks really fucking old in this image, and I don't know, it's just an interesting fact. When Crash Bandicoot got revamped, it gave the energy to come out with Crash Bandicoot 4, so they're kind of hoping the same thing will happen for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. They've been trying to keep that brand alive for some time, and it's just kind of been dying off. I believe Tony Hawk, he said that he feels that they could remaster not only 1 and 2, but a couple other games as well. I don't know if they'll actually do it, and I don't remember which ones he specifically listed. Regardless, I'm excited for this one. It's going to be awesome, and it's coming out on September 4th. And it's coming to all the platforms, too, so that's fun. Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time. Now, we just spoke about this when talking about Tony Hawk. Crash Bandicoot 4 is coming out, and for obvious reasons, people loved the revamp. I mean, if you don't know about Crash Bandicoot yet, I don't know what the hell you're doing with your life. I'm definitely going to be picking it up, and it comes out October 2nd for PlayStation and Xbox. You would think it's only going to be for PlayStation. Samurai Jack, Battle Through Time. That was a TV show, a cartoon that we grew up with as kids. Surprising it made it to the video game world. I mean, I guess it's not that surprising, but it's surprising. Destiny 2 Beyond Light. I have yet to play Destiny 2. Norma and I went through Destiny 1, and we're almost through everything. Destiny's already awesome and we know it. It just sucks that they don't release the full game. Let's not go there. I came across this game, Metal Hellsinger, and it looks cool, but I don't know what the hell it's about. I just like the name, and I like that there's like demons. but I don't know what it's about. I don't know if it's like a Guitar Hero or what the hell it is, but it's interesting. We've made it to reviews. I'm not saying that this is the best Game Informer breakdown ever, and it sucks that I rushed through a lot of it, and it sucks that I didn't have time. I literally got to read through the whole thing once. I took a second look at a few things before I shot this, and I rushed it. And it sucks that I kind of shit on some things that deserved a little more attention, but I hope you understand, and I hope I can make it up in the next Game Informer breakdown. It's just kind of hard when all your time has to be at other places, so I'm sorry for that. But to finish this up, let's do the reviews on some games. Maneater got an 8. Maneater is that shark game where you play as a shark. It's kind of weird, you know, they had Maneater, you play a shark, now they got Stray, you're gonna play a cat. I don't know what they're doing with playing as animals, but it's interesting. I almost bought this game. When I picked up Pillars of Eternity, like I mentioned in the last Game Informer breakdown, the other game in my hand was Maneater, and the only reason I went for Pillar of Eternity is because it was cheaper and I'm broke. But it got a decent rating. An 8 is not bad. Fury Unleashed got an 8.5. Disintegration got a 6. Eesh. That's bad. Deep Rock Galactic got an 8.5. Minecraft Dungeons got a 7. What the fuck is Minecraft Dungeons? Minecraft's not dead yet? Holy shit! The Last of Us Part 2 got a 10. That's a first. That deserves it. That is fucking awesome. I gotta play number 1 already. Wow. That's it for the Game Informer breakdown. We have our first game that was rated a 10. That is very impressive. Valorant, I'll never look at that game the same now because of John whatever his name is. The whole lawsuit and thing in the ugly segment. Valorant, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Valorant, I don't know. It's got an 8.5. Monster Train got a 9. What the fuck is Monster Train? It doesn't even look good. They got a 9? That's it, everyone. That's the last game to be reviewed. That is all for issue number 327. Like I said, I apologize I didn't give it the attention it deserves, but I'm in a crunch for time. So hopefully I can make it up in the next Game Informer, and I hope you guys tune in for the next one as well. Until then, keep it easy, stay cheesy, shake it twice, and don't let your meat loaf.